Hey, welcome to our new Instagram series, Boss Business. I'm so excited. And happy Inauguration Day, right? It is Inauguration Day and we are change, right? We're ready for newness, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. I'm excited. Are you all watching the inauguration? I know you are. Marie, hey, beautiful.
Oh my goodness, so good to see you. I'm going to turn up this volume so I can hear you. This is what I have to say about the energy of today.
Come on. Listen, mic drop, right?
It's a new day. Come on, world. We need this change.
Let me tell you, Marie, your energy is so contagious because that's the type of person I am. I'm like, listen, I want everybody to feel joy, love, peace. And today is just like it's a moment because I feel like it's like a new sense of hope for us as a country. And so just having this conversation with you, someone that I admire, who I follow for years, I'm excited. So, give me another horn. You got another horn?
Kamika, you will get as many as you want.
Yes.
That's what we're saying.
So listen, ladies, you all know how we do things here. We show lots of love to all of our boss ladies. And so this one is very special because she's someone who I have followed from the beginning. When you are starting out in business, you're lost. And so you're trying to figure things out. And so there were so many women who I admired and looked to, like Marie Forleo and Lisa Nichols. And, it's so interesting. Oprah, she had the Super Soul Sunday back in the day. I think she still does it. But she was able to highlight so many different amazing people. And so these were some of the leaders that I looked to kind of figure out my journey as a boss. And so I'm excited to share her with you all today. Somebody said Marie is my spirit animal. I love it. I love it. I love it. That great energy, right? And so we're going to have fun today. But Marie, first, I want you to tell us, what does today mean to you? What is this day in time? What does it mean to you? Yeah.
The fact that we just saw the first Black woman vice president of the 40 something years old. And I remember just screaming at the television for so many years going how are we the country that hasn't, what is wrong with us? And now what we've all been through, what we've went through last year, to see this moment, and you and I were just talking off camera, and the fact that we're doing this today, it is a new day. And it is a new day. There's hope and there's possibility, and so symbolic of the change that we have needed for so long. So this is just a big yes. I feel like this is the beginning of a new chapter for us as a collective. This is inspiring. This is invigorating. Yes. And this is more long overdue. So long overdue. And, now President Biden and Vice President Harris, I could not be more proud to be where we are. We got a lot of challenges. We got a lot of work to do. Yes. But there's a lot of hope and a lot of possibility right now. And I'm going to stay in that zone.
That's right. We got to stay in that zone. And it starts right here, right now. The equality that we seek for everyone, because, being from America, being here, it really, for me, it feels like, there has always been this sense of hope, right? But we have to take off the blinders. We can't be blind to what's happening around us in this world. We have to say, hey, what can I do to make change? And if you can make change within your house, and that's what it's all about. And so, like you said, this is a moment today because having, a Black female VP, for the first time in history, seeing them together, it just brings this sense of joy of what America should be. Right? This is what we want to see happen. And so we have to do that together, as a community, as a culture, as a nation, if that's what we want to see. We have to be the change that we want to see in the world, right? All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So let's get started. You're getting so much love, Marie. I love it because, everybody loves you just as much as I do. So thank you for joining us, and the first thing I want to do, I know you have a new book out. Everything is Figureoutable. That word right there, it was whoa. Figureoutable. It's a tongue twister, but I got it. Tell me, what does that mean?
So I'll tell you the brief story just in case anyone hasn't heard it. It's something that I learned from my mom. So my mom is this really spicy, interesting character. She's in her 70s. God bless, we still have her. My mom is the most tenacious person you could ever meet. She's 5'3". She looks like June Cleaver, and she also cusses like a sailor. All right. So she is just this. She is a spicy mix. She is a spicy, unique mix. And one of my favorite memories growing up, was me and my mom in the kitchen in New Jersey. Now you have to get it. So my mom grew up in the projects of North New Jersey, so she kind of knew how to stretch a dollar around the block by necessity, right? That's where our family comes from. And so Sundays in New Jersey were about clipping coupons because it was about saving money. It was about making that dollar stretch. And my mom taught me that brands would send you these cool free things if you saved up your proofs of purchase. I don't know if anyone else on this line remembers those things.
Oh, your mama old school couponer.
She is.
Okay.
And again, I was learning the ways to really save that money. And so she, you know, you could get spoons, you could get recipe books, but my mom saved up for one of her favorite items ever. It was this tiny little AM/FM transistor radio shaped like an orange, looked like an orange, that she got for free from Tropicana Orange Juice. So this little radio had a red and white straw sticking out of the side, little stripe, that was the antenna. And my mom's one of those humans, because she's a hard worker, she's always busy. So as a little girl, I knew I could find her somewhere around the yard or around the house by listening for the sound of that little radio.
I love it.
So Kamika, one day I come home from school and I hear the radio off in the distance. And it sounded strange. It was like coming from a weird orientation. And when I got to the house, I saw that my mom was perched precariously on the roof of our 2-story house. I see her tiny with her little butt and the radio sit next to her. And I'm like, what? Like, Mom, what are you doing up there? Is everything okay? And she yells down to me because she's like, Ray, I'm fine. The roof had a leak. I called the roofer. He said it was going to be like $500. I said, screw that. I'm doing it myself.
Oh, that's right, Mama.
That's right. Done. Another time I come home from school and I hear this little radio blasting music from the back of the house. So I follow the sound and it turns out my mom's in the bathroom. I push open the door. It looks like a bomb went off. There was like dust particles in the air, pipes sticking out of the wall, broken tiles everywhere. And I'm like, Mom, are you okay? What's going on? She's like, I'm fine. The tiles had some cracks. I didn't want the bathroom to get moldy, so I'm retiling the bathroom. Now you got to get, Kamika, this is the 80s, right? That's when I grew up. There's no YouTube, there's no Google, there's no internet.
Got to figure it out.
So one day I come home from school and it's dark out. It's creepy. It's spooky. I walk up to the house and it's completely silent, which for an Italian-American home, not a good sign. I go in and I had this pit in my stomach. I'm like, something is seriously wrong. I hear nothing. All of a sudden, I'm tiptoeing around the house and I hear some clicks and clacks. And I go over and it's my mom in the kitchen and she's hunched over the kitchen table, which looks like an operating room. There's screwdrivers, there's electrical tape, and in like a dozen pieces is a completely dismantled Tropicana Orange radio. And I was like,
not the radio?
Mom, yeah. I was like, are you okay? That's like your favorite thing. What's going on? Are you all right? She's like, oh, I'm fine. She's like, you know, the antenna was off and the dial wasn't working. So I'm fixing it. And I stood there, Kamika, and I was just watching her, like watching her work her magic like I always did. And I finally thought to ask the question I should always ask, which was, hey, Mom, how do you know how to do so many different things that you've never done before, but nobody's showing you how to do it? And she stopped and she put down her screwdriver and she goes, Ray, nothing in life, it's not that complicated. You just roll up your sleeves, you get in there and you do it. Everything is figureoutable. And I was like,
wow.
And it just hit me. It hit and it sunk in. And from that moment, Kamika, that little phrase has helped me at every stage of my life, gotten me out of toxic, abusive relationships, gotten me through college, figuring out how to help fund things, gotten me any job I've ever had, gotten me starting the business, not knowing what the hell I'm doing. Every time I get in trouble in my business, gets me out of trouble in my business. Do you know what that little phrase is the thing that I've seen. You know, I don't have all the answers. No human being does. But I believe so deeply in the power that every human being has in terms of their creativity, their potential, their connection to a higher power to be able to find a way or make a way through.
First of all, God bless your mom. You know, Figureoutable, coming up with that phrase that you can now take and share with us, because I know everybody on this Instagram Live, you all can, you know, think of a time in your life where you had to figure it out, right? So Figureoutable. That is what our journey is all about. You know, I was telling Marie offline, you all, that when I first started the Boss Network, it was a challenge. There was not a community for women of color that existed. And so I had to go out and I had to research and find out, you know, what communities are out there? What are they doing to serve women? How are they bringing resources together? And so I looked all around me and I found people that were doing it. And then I used them as, you know, a roadmap to figure it out. And so I love that because there is so much now. I mean, your mom, bless her soul, back then, you know, she had, this thing here and probably little things around her, but we have so much access with, social media, with the internet, with, just all these amazing gurus that we can go to and get information from. And so, ladies, whatever you're doing, whether it's your career, your business, everything is figureoutable. Hey, drop the mic. Marie said it. Okay. All right. So Marie, I love, because clearly I can tell that you're an amazing storyteller. So, tell us about your journey. How did you get to this point? Like, where did it all start for you?
My goodness. So I remember being in college. I first started as a psych major because I love and am fascinated by human potential, and I believe in us human beings.
Me too.
But I remember, yeah, it was like something deep in my soul wanted to be able to understand how to help both myself and help other people. How do we live the best that we possibly can and deliver the best that we can? Be of service, be loving, be joyful, be generous. And in that first class, I remember the professor at that time, he's like, all right, so the first thing you need to know is that everything that's wrong with your life is because your parents screwed you up. And I was like, I'm out of here. Like, even at 17, I did not prescribe and want to adopt that viewpoint. So I signed up and I switched my major to business. I knew as a person with a lot of energy, I was not cut out to sit behind a desk all day. I knew that. That would make me bonkers. So my first experience was actually on Wall Street, on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, where there are no seats. At that time, it was 99.9% men. I was super grateful to have a job. I'm the first in my family to ever go to college. So higher education is not, again, that's not where we come from. Yeah. And so I was grateful. I was humbled. But here's the truth. After being at that role for like 6 months, it felt like I was dying a slow death. I kept hearing this little voice inside that said, Marie, this isn't who you are. This isn't what you're meant to do. This isn't what you're meant to contribute. You need to leave. And I'll tell you, I was terrified of that voice. I kept trying to push it down. I kept trying to ignore it. I kept trying to stay focused, keep my game face on, because I don't have a trust fund. I don't have a backup. Right. I have to take care of myself. My parents busted their butt to just get me an education. Now it's my turn to pick it up. Right. There came a point one day where I got onto the floor of the exchange and I was starting to have what I now know is a panic attack. I didn't know it then. I didn't even have that language then, but I was dizzy. I was having trouble breathing. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And I said to my boss, I said, hey, I need to go out and grab some coffee. And he's like, sure, go. And I ran out of the floor, and rather than going to get coffee, I made a beeline to the church. So I was raised Catholic and I had gone to a Catholic university. So I'm kind of trained in the middle of a crisis to look up and to ask for some guidance.
My kind of girl. Yep.
And I sat there on those church steps crying my eyes out because I felt horrible. I didn't want to bring shame on my family. I was trying real hard to do what you're all told. You get an education, you get a job, right? You just follow this kind of road path. And I wanted to quit. And this little voice that was telling me to quit wasn't telling me what else I was supposed to do. Right. So as I was crying, the first signal I got was to call your dad, because I have so much respect for my dad because he worked so hard and he had given me so much, and I didn't want to be ashamed to him. And I crying, I'm like, I can't do this. I tried so hard. I'm trying everything, but I want to quit. And I hope you're not going to be mad at me. And he finally broke in. I was doing the ugly cry with the snot bubbles. That's the level of heaving that I was doing. And he's like, Ree, calm down. He goes, you've been babysitting since you're 9. I'm not worried about you doing whatever you need to do to keep a roof over your head. He goes, but this is the secret to life. You have to find something you love. Once you find something you love, you're not going to be getting sick at work. You're going to love going to work. It's not going to be easy, but you're going to spend the next 40 to 50 years of your life working. So keep looking until you find something that's right for you. And when you find it, you're going to know it, but don't stop until you get there. And if this job is making you this sick, then quit right now and go figure it out. And I was like, so that was my moment. And to be honest, it took me years. I failed at a bunch of jobs. I was in publishing for a bit, and that little voice inside kept telling me over and over, nope, this isn't it. This isn't who you are. This isn't what you're meant to do. This isn't who you're meant to be. And it wasn't until I was in fashion at Mademoiselle magazine a couple years later, I was on the internet and I was still having those feelings. I'm like, all I want to do is quit my job. I have no backup plan. Am I broken? Am I cognitively do I have something wrong with me? Right. I want to make a difference. I'm a really hard worker, but I literally feel like I'm dying a slow death being in these corporate environments. I stumbled upon an article at the time. You got to get this, is the late 90s, right? So we got to put this in context. It was about a new profession at the time called coaching. No one had ever heard of it. It wasn't like we are now in 2021 where everybody understands what that is. And I will tell you, when I read this article that you could create an entire career out of partnering with people, strategically helping them, working with them, focusing on solutions, focusing on making forward-moving plans, helping people and bringing out the best in who they are. Right. Everything in me lit up like a Christmas tree. The fearful part of my mind was like, Marie, you're 23 years old. Who the hell's going to hire a 23-year-old life coach?
You were 23 at the time?
Yes, I was 23. And I thought I was crazy, right? It was just like, this is the dumbest idea. Life coaching sounds so cheesy. This is just going to be one more thing you fail at. So I had that yapping away. Right. But deep down, my soul, God, the divine, was like, there's something here for you. You need to follow this. Even though it doesn't make sense, you must trust. Wow. I signed up for a 3-year coaching program and started doing like my studies at night. Yeah. Fast forward 6 months. I was at Condé Nast Publications and I got a call from HR and they had a promotion for me. It was for Vogue magazine. So this was my fork in the road. Right. Either take the promotion, keep the steady paycheck, keep the healthcare, respectable job, prestigious role at Vogue, or quit and start this weird ass life coaching thing that you have no idea, nobody even understands what it is, and you've never started a business and you don't have, any support. And I was like, I'm going to do that. So I quit my job. I started bartending and waiting tables and figured out how to build a coaching practice during the day. And that was over 20 years ago.
Okay, so many moments in that story that I wanted to like pause and ask you a question. But okay, I know, because I know the ladies are watching and probably some guys are watching. What gave you that confidence, right? Because I'm sure all of us have been at that fork in the road, right? Where we're like, okay, I either can go this way, stay at the job, take the raise, or I can go out on my own. What gave you that confidence to make that move?
Can I tell you, it was a combination of two things. Yeah. It was pain because I kept hitting walls, right? Like I tried my best at Wall Street and I was giving my full effort. And I had a few other jobs at different magazines. I was giving my full effort. And the pain and suffering of feeling my soul starting to die inside. So pain was one thing. Yeah. The other thing was a deep faith in the other thing that my mom taught me that I am so grateful for. She told me that I have a direct line to God through my intuition. Yeah. She said, God will speak to you in a very small voice, but you have to have the courage to listen. Yeah. That little voice will never steer you wrong.
Never steer you wrong.
But you have to obey it.
Yeah.
And so I had that, Kamika, drilled into me like since I was a kid. She used it so I wouldn't get into cars with strangers. That's how I was introduced to the idea. Yeah. But because it was drilled into me so much throughout my childhood, by the time that I heard that voice, even though the coaching thing seemed real cheesy and weird and didn't make any logical sense, that God voice within me said, this is for you. This is your path.
That's it.
So that's where I had no confidence though, to be totally honest with you. I was terrified. I was insecure. I was afraid. Yeah. I was completely filled with self-doubt. So I was not confident, but I had learned enough through the pain and the experience of hearing that wisdom within that I had to follow it.
Okay, so pain, purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, I think about my journey, and I know you all watching, you probably think about your journey as well. And like, that is what kind of pushes you. There's a quote that I heard recently, and it said, a career is what you're paid for. A calling is what you're made for. And woo, baby, listen, when I tell you, I'm going to repeat that for you all. A career is what you're made for. A career is what you're paid for. A calling is what you're made for. Exactly. And when I heard that, and that's not to discount, those of us that are in our careers, because sometimes that is a calling. I started off my career in education, working with young people. That was definitely my calling, was to serve. But God had so much more for me. And so I love that you're mixing in that faith, because honey, I am a believer. And people know I call myself a boss believer because my faith is everything to me. It's what has sustained me, what keeps me, what moves me forward, what pushes me, and what sustains me in those moments where I'm questioning everything around me. And so I love that you talked about that faith part and also that pain, because you know, sometimes we're in situations. I remember being in my jobs and I just never understood why I just wasn't happy 100%. I loved working with young people. I loved, you know, making sure that they were moving forward and pursuing their dreams. But a lot of the other stuff, the politics, you know, it just wasn't a fit for me. And so my mother, she told me, you know, very early, she said, you know, you have to figure out what it is that you love, just like your mom. And once you figure that out, you're going to be fine. And so I knew that I loved serving because that's what I was taught as a young person. My grandfather was a pastor. You know, my mom's an evangelist. And so that little Jesus girl in me was just like, okay, I know that I can figure this out, but I got to just pray a little harder and just step out on faith and make some moves. And so everything that you just said was so on point. So, you know, thank you for that transparency. I really appreciate that, because I think a lot of times people just share like, oh, I did this, I did that, but not really talking about, you know, the things that really go through your mind when you're trying to kind of make those moves. So yeah, that was a moment. That was a moment.
And can I add this in, just tell it, because I think there might be a myth that some people might look at someone like you who's so successful. They might look at someone like me who's been around the block for a little bit and be like, oh, she doesn't worry anymore, or she doesn't have doubt. You know what I mean? Or she did.
Right.
Nope. That same faith, man, I call upon it all the time, because, you know, in business, you're either growing or you're dying, and you need to stay adaptable. You need to stay flexible. You need to stay inventive and innovative. And none of that comes easily. It's scary for everyone. And so that's why we need that faith. And I think we need to be able to step aside from our egoic mind and from our fearful mind and be a channel, be able to let some higher wisdom come through, because we do live in a supportive universe. Not always, like sometimes it supports us with challenges that we need to grow through, and that's okay. That's okay. But there is wisdom, there is guidance if we're willing to hear it, but we got to just practice.
Gotta tune in. You gotta be connected. And I love what you just said, because I'm a quote freak. I use these affirmations to kind of keep me going. And someone said, you know, if you're not afraid, you're not dreaming big enough. You know, if you're not scared shitless, you know, excuse me, cursey Christian over here. But if you're not scared, you're not doing enough. You're not working hard enough. You're not dreaming big enough. And so that fear, it's an energy. It's an energy, but you got to learn how to make that energy be a fuel and not, you know, something that holds you back. So I love that. And you answered my second question, which was how do you handle fear and doubt while pursuing your goals? You pretty much answered that question. So, you know, we know that as we're growing as professional women, as entrepreneurs, you know, we got to always stay on top of our game. You know, I mean, because you've been in the game for 20 plus years. I mean, making moves, doing great things. How do you stay on top of your game professionally? Like, what do you do to stay, you know, fresh and new and ahead of the trends?
100%. So I will tell you this. I am not the girl who chases algorithms or chases like what the market is telling me. Where I get, and I'm not BSing you on any of this, the guidance really is from within. Like sometimes that intuition, that God inner voice divine speaks so loud, and it's like, I'm like, really? You need me to do that? I remember when it came to the book, right? To launching the book, you know, I have a lot of colleagues. I have many dear friends who are authors, and we have them on the show, and it's amazing. So, and I love marketing. I love business. So it's like, this is a thing that I'm into. And I remember I got this voice that was basically like, you need to do a concert. I was like, wait, what? I can't sing. I can dance, but I cannot sing. Not yet anyway. It was this whole, download that it was like, no, it's basically like a TED Talk meets a Beyonce concert meets like a block party. And I was like, you're kidding me. Like, I'm literally having this, like, I need to do that. And I will tell you, Kamika, we did it. It was one of the most amazing things. We put on a concert at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City back in September of 2019, when we could all still be, you know, it was pre-COVID, right? And it was a completely intuitive thing. I'd never seen anything like it before. And so that's why I'm such a huge fan of helping folks, like in terms of developing any kind of rituals or practices, meditation, prayer, working out. When I sweat, Oh my goodness. So the question was around how do I stay motivated? How do I stay inspired? How do I keep ahead?
Yes.
Those practices open my channel for the downloads of where I need to go next. And oftentimes my friends are like, what are you doing? And like people that love me. So they're not being haters, right? They're just like, wait, what? And I'm like, I don't understand it either. But after 20 years, I've learned to obey. I've learned to obey the voice.
I love it. Yeah. And we got to find that for each of us. And because I'm, you know, like your mom, I love music. I mean, music is the soundtrack of my life. Like every moment of my life, every moment of my business, there is a song. And honestly, I feel like I cheated you because, you know, I normally play a song in the beginning of our lives, but you gave me like the nice little, you know, so that was our little moment. But what song, this is just off the beat, what song gives you like life right now? What song is rocking in your system?
Oh,
who are you listening to?
That's okay. So I had a whole Lauryn Hill radio day on Sunday. And so it was Lauryn Hill on Spotify, but Lauryn Hill radio. And it was a vibe. It was a vibe it was such a vibe. And I was like, oh, it felt so good. And it felt sexy. It felt feminine. It felt powerful. It felt rebellious. Like all this at once and groovy and vibey. And I was like, I was in it. So that was recent.
Yeah.
If I jump on, I do Peloton, and I just love all the different, there's so many different teachers. There's so many different kinds of music and so many different energies that come through. So I'm usually, because I'm not driving around that much, usually the way I'm tapping into new music is in my car, and because I'm not going anywhere because it's COVID. I'm relying on the Peloton or the Spotify. How about you? What are you listening to right now?
Somebody said, all eyes on me, Tupac. They got real good stuff. Well, you know,
I love it.
Okay, so, oh goodness. So my musical range is insane. I remember when I was in college, my college roommate was like, what is wrong with you? I was listening to like the Dixie Chicks, Shania Twain, like, you know, Train. I mean, Lauryn Hill, Tupac, like my musical interests, gospel music. I mean, I love everything. It's just who I am. But currently I just recently watched this documentary. I love documentaries. It is my vibe. So especially musical documentaries. And I watched this one recently with Ariana Grande. Love her energy, love everything about her. But right now I'm into this Jasmine Sullivan. I mean, like she is amazing. Like her voice, her storytelling, it is like, I mean, she's speaking to women right now, and I'm just like, okay, Jasmine, you read my diary. So she's a vibe for me right now. Yeah. But I'm gonna check that out because I feel like there was a moment, and I want to talk about this too, success burnout. Oh, I want to talk about that because there was a moment right before I celebrated my 10th year anniversary where I just felt burned out. I was so, you know, mentally tired, and I didn't really know I was tired because I'm so used to going. But my spirit was like tired, and I realized that all the things that I really, really enjoyed, I kind of stopped doing. It was like really just work. And so I have to sit back and say, okay, Kamika, you know, you can't just grow professionally. You got to grow personally too. What are the things that you enjoy? Because when I started, you know, Boss 10 years ago, I was like late 20s. Now I'm, you know, 40s. So it's like, you know, your taste has, you know, developed. What do you love? And so I still love music. You know, I love outings with my girlfriends. And so I had to bring some of that joy back into my life to make sure I had a balanced life. And I think that that's important for us as women because we care so much and we give so much, but we got to give to ourselves too first.
Yes.
Because there's this myth that you give to everybody else, you know, and you serve others. And I don't feel like God wants us to serve from an empty cup. So I feel like we have to serve ourselves so that we can serve others from a very full place. So what is that for you? Like, have you ever experienced success burnout? Or if you have,
oh my God,
how did you get through that? Yeah.
I'm the worst. I have been the worst. My goodness, have I hit my head against the wall a couple of times. I feel like you and I share DNA and like such a strong work ethic and so committed, right, to being of service and so committed to taking care of our teams and our family and like doing whatever we need to do to keep it all running.
Right.
So, and I will say for myself, you know, I have to watch that because I can go. You know, like making it happen, keeping it on. And I will say this too, I think we have to really be conscious because in our society, there has been a glorification of the 24/7 hustle, and it is total BS. Look, there is a stage and season for all of us. There's times when you put that pedal to the metal, you must, you have to, let's enjoy it, let's do it. But that's not 24/7, 365. Computers are made to run all the time. Human beings are not. And if you really want high performance and you want joy and you want passion and you want vitality and you want health and humor, you can't be pushing it 24/7. So for me, at this current stage and season of my life, I love food and I love cooking. So I love just like making some meals. I think it was last weekend, I have this family recipe. It's like a 12-hour tomato sauce from, you know, my Italian ancestry. And it is so thick and so good. And I made us like a whole couple trays of baked ziti. I was so happy. You know what I mean? Like love just Italian cooking food. That up. I love dance and I love movement. I also love like being out in nature, especially now. I learned about this whole thing about having a positive winter mindset. I naturally am attracted to sunshine. I want flip-flops. I want to see. I love warm weather. But, you know, we're in a state, right? We're in a state we can't really travel. At least for me, I don't feel comfortable traveling right now. I want to stay home. And so developing this positive wintertime mindset means I'm getting my butt out and doing hikes, like getting proper winter gear for the first time. You know what I mean? Doing all kinds of new stuff. I also, I'm working on learning Italian from my little apps on my phone. I know this sounds really silly, but I also like dreaming in my journals with let me show you. I have gel pens. So I get different colored gel pens and I just talk, it's like a way to just add some color and joy into the process of dreaming.
Can I share something with you? Okay, so I need to do this, and I'm gonna get your address and send you something. First of all, I love dancing. Somebody said dancing. That's my vibe. That's my jam, dancing. But I love coloring. Yes. I love coloring. I'm like this adult colorer, and I have a couple of women in my community that have created like these adult coloring books, and it's just life for me. Just kind of being in a moment of quiet and just coloring my little hearts, you know, away. It just feels really good for me. And I need that because my brain is always on the go. So I need something that kind of just centers me. We got some energy going. When is your birthday? I know people, I'm into astrology.
December 7th, Sagittarius.
Come on, Sagittarius. That is my sign, girl. Listen, I knew that you were a Sagittarius. My birthday is November 23rd.
Yes.
I knew you were a Sag. Marie, listen, let me tell you, I can tell Sagittarius people because our energy, like we're hard workers, we're go-getters, we are social introverts, which people don't understand. So we love the outside and we love people, but we love that moment of alone time in our heads. And come on, yes. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. My Sag sister. That's what I'm talking about. I love it.
That's right.
All right. So for those of you all that are just tuning in, I mean, everybody knows Marie Forleo, but for those of you all that do not know her, if you're hiding under a rock, she is a #1 New York Times bestselling author, creator of the B School with over 65,000 students in 160 countries, and the host of the award-winning show Marie TV, which I love, and the Marie Forleo podcast with millions of fans worldwide. Marie helps people build the life that they want and to achieve their dreams. And you can actually get her latest book. Everything is Figureoutable on Amazon and everywhere where books are sold, I'm sure, right?
Yes.
All right. Marie, listen, this conversation has been so good. I mean, is there something, so this is the thing. You talked about embracing the notion that everything is Figureoutable, right? And I love that because early on in my career, my cousin introduced me to the law of attraction and manifestation. And I was like very early 20s. And so for me, it kind of made sense because, you know, I'm a person that faith without works is dead, that type of person. And all that faith, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So my faith has kind of sustained me in my life. So, manifestation and, law of attraction and all those things for me, it was natural. And so, what else would you like to share with our audience about, embracing your gifts, your talents, pursuing your goals without, regret, just going out there and just doing everything that you want to do in life and living your best life possible. I want everyone to have that joy and that feeling of when they wake up in the morning that I'm in a good place. Like, this is what I was called to do. I'm running my own business. I'm at a job that I love. You know, my family's good. My mental is good. My health is good. Like, give us something to kind of, you know, just ride this wave out to, so that the ladies can, you know, go into this new year just feeling like they are ready to take over the world.
Yes. So two things. One, if anyone watching, we have a free business training series up right now. It's 100% free. If you go to joinbschool.com, it's a 3-part workshop. It's awesome. We only usually open it up once or twice a year. That's there if you need tactics or you just want a little inspiration around marketing. Around the bigger picture, though, this is probably one of the most important things that I try to remind myself of, and I really do believe it in my heart. I know it to be true. You know, God doesn't make any extra people, none. So for you listening right now, there is a set of talents, a set of gifts, a set of perspectives, a set of experiences that you have that no one on the planet has. I often like to say you are a one-time mega event in the universe. Who you are has never been and will never be again. So while you're here breathing this beautiful air, you have this blessed day, you have this blessed body, you have this blessed opportunity to go out there and to share it. The world really does need that special gift that only you have. And there are thousands, if not millions of people waiting for you to offer it. They can't hear it from other people. Doesn't matter how many folks you think have done it before, they've covered those grounds. We need the full diversity of human beings, all of their talents, all of their gifts, all of us contributing in this spirit of love and unity and moving forward. If we're going to get to the place in society that I think we all want to get to in our hearts, which is seeing a more equal, a more just, a more loving world. And the only way that's going to happen is if you look inside your heart and say, yeah, I do have something to offer here. And you know what? I'm going to step aside. I'm going to step aside from my egoic mind. I'm going to step aside from the fear. I'm going to let divinity, God, higher source, whatever you may or may not believe in, be a channel to work through me. And I think when we get in that place, that is when the magic continues to happen.
I love that. I love that. Marie, you are my big sister, my spirit animal, my Sag twin. I love it. Listen, boss ladies, this has been such an amazing conversation. And, you know, there's a quote that Marie says, success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. And I tell people all the time, consistency is the key to success. So I hope you all were inspired by this conversation just as much as I was. You know, go on Marie's page and show her some boss love. Like, just give her all the love, all the virtual love that you can give her for me. And you're going to see from me and Marie soon. We're going to do something. Because this energy is just, we got to keep this going.
Kamika, I also just want to thank you so much. And I want to thank everyone watching right now. You know, I never take anyone's time or attention lightly. So thank you so much for inviting me onto the platform that you've built. And thanks for everyone who's been spending time with us today and just sending so everybody so much love.
All right. So ladies, if you want to go ahead and post something in the comments, show Marie some love. I want to read a few of your comments. Tell us where you're dialing in from. You all have been like posting from all over the world. I love that. So just share something, and I'm going to give Marie some outro music because, you know, it's only right because, you know, I love music. So I got to find her a jam real quick.
Oh, I'm in for a jam. I'm ready for it.
But while I'm getting my music together, I want you all to make sure to visit thebossnetwork.org to stay connected. We are here to support women on their journeys to success and provide all the resources that you need to be successful. Boss ladies, I love you all. I wish you all an amazing 2021. Listen, my goodness, God, today is inauguration day. You know, be joyous, be happy, be hopeful for something new, and let's do great things this year. All right, so let me see what am I gonna give us today. What song can I find? I'm gonna surprise Marie with something. Oh, Toronto, I hear you, Toronto. I see you all out there. Yes. Okay. All right, ladies. So here's a little Lauryn Hill for my girl Marie. And you all have a wonderful day. Don't we just love this X Factor? Yes, you are the X Factor. Live your best life, live your dreams, do it big, and let's have a great time in 2021. Hey. It could all be so simple, ladies. All right, Marie, you are amazing. Okay, you give them a little swirl. You give them a little.
I'm getting just that subtle body roll. Just that subtle body roll.
I love it. I love it. All right, boss. You are amazing.
Love you all. Kamika, you're fantastic. Love you so much. Thank you, everyone.
All right, everybody. Take care. Bye, Marie. All right, ladies, that was awesome. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate you all. Thank you for letting me have my little moment with my new Instagram live show. Stay tuned for some really, really great people that I'll be interviewing coming up very soon. And I appreciate my tribe. I really do. I love you all. Y'all know I'm real back and forth with my social media love. So, you know, just thank you for entertaining me and giving me a moment to kind of just share the people that I adore and that have been, you know, a great support in my journey as an entrepreneur. All right, boss ladies. See you all.